Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Chairman of the People's National Movement, Mr. Franklin Khan, our deputy political leaders, Mr. Rohan Sinanan, Ms. Marlene MacDonald, and of course, the Venerable Joan Yule Williams, and not present with us here tonight, but listening in Tobago, Chief Secretary Orville London, our party Vice Chairman on stage tonight, my friend and colleague, the man who is now officially outside. He is now joining me because we are all outside. In just under 3 hours, we'll all be outside. And on September 7th, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, as we know it now, will be outside. Our Lady Vice Chairman, Mrs. Camille Robinson-Regis, other party officers, including our General Secretary, Mr. Ashton Ford, and our Assistant General Secretary, Mr. Daniel Duki. I gather somewhere in this massive crowd here at Pigot's Corner tonight, we have the Mayor of Port of Spain, our councillors, and particularly, I want to acknowledge a woman I've come to know in the last 5 years as a true patriot of Trinidad and Tobago, the outgoing Member of Parliament for Port of Spain North St. Anthony, Mrs. Patricia McIntosh. As leader of the PNM and leader of the opposition tonight, I want to thank Mrs. McIntosh very sincerely for the service that she's given to Trinidad and Tobago in the last 5 years. Because before that, she was a lady of service, leading one of our better schools in Trinidad and Tobago and bringing citizens from potential to reality. But in the last 5 years, she offered herself to serve as a member of parliament, and her experience, her record will show she served in the opposition. And she now goes off to a well-earned vacation. And we look forward to seeing and hearing Mrs. McIntosh again in the not-too-distant future. I want to thank her very sincerely for the smooth transition of bringing Stuart Young to the people of Port of Spain North. She could have screamed, she could have commented, she could have complained, she could simply have said, "I'm not moving." But she was very early in her decision and allowed us in the party to put Stuart Young in the field for quite some time. I understand that Stuart has walked out two pairs of shoes. He walked out the white shoe, walked out the black shoe, and now he's wearing a red shoe. Son of the soil, the next Member of Parliament for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, Mr. Stuart Young. And on the platform with me tonight is a PNM stalwart who came in as our first Rasta man, served for a number of years, was disappointed when he wasn't selected, but never bowed his head and never turned his back on the PNM. And in 2015, he won the nomination for the constituency of Laventille West. Tonight, I introduce the next Member of Parliament for Laventille West to return to the House, a House where the PNM should have the majority. Rastaman, attorney at law, family man, true patriot, Mr. Fitzgerald Hines. Five years ago, in 2010, we had a general election in this country. And one of the main issues, if not the main issue, was the unacceptable level of violent crime in Trinidad and Tobago. A group of persons came together very hurriedly because it was a snap election. And they said to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, put us in office and we will deal with the insensitivity of the PNM to crime. We will deal with crime. Give us 120 days and we will fix the problem. And many people believe them. And guess what? As I'm talking to you now, in the last 5 or 6 days, 14 people have been murdered in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's not even making the news. We have become so accustomed to people being murdered in Grap that is not even making the front pages anymore. And sometimes it's not making the news. And the government is saying to us, recently, I heard a statement being made by an official that crime has declined spectacularly in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know which Trinidad and Tobago, but it can't be the one that I live in. And it can't be the one where you have 14 people murdered and no attention being paid to it. If the PNM was in office, would I hear Martin Joseph? God rest his soul. Today we don't even know who the Minister of National Security is. We don't know if it's the third or the fourth or the fifth, because that is no longer an issue. But we've come to that point in time where you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are called upon to make a decision, one of three decisions. One is that what is going on now across the board in Trinidad and Tobago, you are happy with. And on the morning of September 8th, you are happy for that to continue. Or you could say that we are on the wrong track and it requires adjustment, and you would have seen the potential of the PNM to change things for the better, and you vote solidly for the People's National Movement. Or you could take the stand of some of those who are saying that the spaceship has not arrived from Mars and will not